why. This shit's always weird, making videos. Like, it's just because you're sitting in a room by yourself talking to yourself. I mention that in a lot of fucking videos. I don't know what it is. But I want to do this real quick. You're not behind. Oh, wait. See, this is the thing I like about it though. You're not behind, you're becoming, all right? Start showing up for yourself. Title is something like that, right? I just wanted to make this really quick. I actually got work. I think it's like 3 something. I work super early, okay, so it's like 3:15. So I got work in like 45 minutes, like exactly. So I have 4 different things about what I just said. Stop thinking so much about the future. Show up for yourself right now. So many of us, we always trying to figure out what it is that we want to do with our lives, and we're thinking of the future, and we're like how things are going to be, and we play it up inside of our heads and stuff like that, but we don't actually do it because we're scared of like not being able to meet that expectation, right? This is the reason why a lot of some of these popped into my head. So first one, right? Stop trying so hard. Okay, I get like this all the time, and a lot of times I say that, like I kind of relate to a lot of this stuff that I say inside of my own head, because, you know, a lot of times people are usually the same. You know, focus on who you want to be right now, because a lot of times we look into the future to try and be who we want to be. We're always like thinking about, oh, this would be amazing if I was like this, or I can't wait until things are like this, not realizing that all of the stuff that you want in the future relies on stuff that you have to change right now, right? So if you're thinking about things in the future, that's nice, and it's good to have goals and like to set them and kind of have like a waypoint to kind of try and get there. But like, if you just keep on thinking about that fantasy just becomes bigger and bigger until eventually you feel like you can't reach it and the goal is just too big, and so you never start. But you have to realize that things are small, right? Things start with the micro, with the little tiny stuff that you do every day that, you know, starts to change who you are. And as you do those things become habit. And then as those things become habit, you start to change who you are fundamentally, right? And I don't think a lot of people really think too hard about that. They just think about who they want to be, but they don't think about the steps that they need to take to get there. And I think even the people that do think about the steps that they need to do to get there, they don't reverse engineer. It's kind of the same thing, but it's like a different way of thinking of it, right? Like, okay, let me think about where I want to be at, and let me think of the steps that I need to do in reverse to get there. Because then if you do that, you'll have, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I get there. Boom, 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 boom. Step. You know, step 5, step 4, step 3, step 2, step 1. And then eventually you find out what number 1 is. Boom, now you know how to get moving, right? With that micro stuff, right? Second one, learning to slow down and be patient, right? We be in a hurry all the fucking time. We be always trying to like, oh man, I want this to happen now. I didn't say this in one of my other videos about trying to always want things right now. So that kind of feeds into the first one that I said, right? These all feed into each other anyway. So it's kind of like, you know, whatever, right? But be patient, slow down, right? This is even in this is the right now, right? Your dreams, your motivations and all that shit, they ain't going nowhere. Like, chill out. You know what I'm saying? As long as you moving in the direction that you want to be going, even if things ain't going the way you want them to go, you gonna get there because you going in that direction. So, you know, there's a video that I had on my channel previously. I kind of dove into that and kind of my personal experiences on that. And it's the same thing. Nothing's really changed. But yeah, focus allows you to, patience allows you to become more focused. And focus allows clarity, right? Because once you're focused on one specific thing, you know exactly how you want it to go. And if things don't work out, you know, I forget what the saying is, but I think it's like, make the plan, right? Draw up a map and everything, make the plan, and then throw it away. Because it's not going to work. It's not going to work out the way that you want to. But it's good to have an outline or whatever it is that you want, just to kind of have an idea of where you want to go, and then you can kind of just free ball from there. Number 3, which for some reason on here it's number 2, but whatever, I digress, right? Stop trying to be so perfect is number 1, right? The second one is more so about, what is it? Stop trying to be so perfect, right? So this kind of goes into number 1. Stop trying to be so perfect is, number 1 was more of focusing on who you are right now and like not getting so sucked into the future. Stop trying to be so perfect is focusing, not necessarily focusing, but more zooming out. The more you try to fixate on becoming a better person, the more you start fixating on perfection. You start becoming more of a perfectionist, right? And the more you start focusing on trying to be a perfectionist, the harder it is for you to do things and get stuff done, which then stalls you. Like we said before, we don't want to get inside that mindset of trying to make things so grandiose and so fucking big that we don't think that we can even take on the Goliath, you know what I'm saying? That you don't ever start. And you have to think about it, like, even when you are getting better, you are never gonna be perfect. I don't care how long you do this shit for, right? Even the people, even the artists, even the YouTubers, even all of these people that you would expect are perfect at their craft are not. They still, you would ask them, and if they're not super cocky about it, even the ones that are pretty cocky are probably gonna tell you, listen, I'm not perfect, I still got a lot to learn. And they probably been in the game for like 5, 10, 15 years, you know what I'm saying? Listen to that. Stop getting so inside of your head. And really that's what a lot of this is about, is like getting so inside of your head about stuff that you just don't take action. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how the mind works, but that is how it works at the end of the day, right? Number 4, last and most important, maybe not most important, this isn't really in any order. Stop or notice when you're judging yourself. Once again, like I said, these all feed into each other. Stop or notice when you're judging yourself, okay? When you're judging yourself. That's the most important thing when it comes to judging other people. A lot of people don't know that most people are just projecting. I think a lot of people know it as you get older, but especially when you're younger, like inside of high school, college, you kind of just learning about empathy and perspective of the world and stuff like that, you start to realize, there's no way that I'm everybody else's problem. And you're not. In fact, 99% of the time, you're fucking not. 1% of the time, you are. Okay, we switch it up and say 80% of the time, you're not other people's problems. They're their own problems, right? And that other 20%, you are actually the problem. That's the reason why it's important for you to analyze and kind of take self-note of what's going on inside of your own body, on your own mind, your own psyche type shit. Most of the time, you're not other people's problems. They're their own problem, right? And that's what projection is. But it starts with how you feel about yourself, right? Because a lot of times how we feel about ourselves is what we project onto other people. So I wouldn't even say, oh, stop judging other people, right? I would compress it, put it inside of a nice little present, nice little package and say, stop judging yourself, right? Because the things that you judge yourself on are the things that you're going to project onto other people. Like say for instance, oh man, my hair looks so fucking bad today, like I'm so ugly, whatever. And then you go out, you don't realize that you're saying that inside of your own subconscious type shit. And then you go out, maybe out to a party, maybe you're out to a little get together, a little kickback, whatever. And you see somebody else and you're like, man, they're just so ugly. Like, ugh, why the fuck they look like? Why the fuck they wear that? Why the fuck they moving like that? Why they talking like whatever, right? But it's because you took that self-judgment, you internalized it, but you didn't process it because you kicked it out of your awareness, right? You just completely kicked it out of your awareness, but now it's bubbling back up as prejudice and as projection because you didn't realize it before. Basically swallowed it, kind of put it down into the, forgot about it, put it down into your subconscious, and now it's coming back up. Every single thing that you think about and that you process, that you don't process, will bubble back up as something else because it has to come out. It has to be processed one way or another. But yeah, that's the third one. So just to review, right? We got number 1, don't try so hard. Let go. Be who you are now so that you can become who you want to be later, right? Focus on who you want to be now, who you are now, and improving that person so that you can eventually become who you want to be. That's who you need to change, not the person that you're thinking about inside of the future, right? Number 2, learn to slow down. Learn to be more patient. It's going to take time for you to change, right? It's on the micro, right? So it's going to take time for you to change. Be patient, slow down, take it slow, because even if you're going, as long as you're going, it doesn't matter how long it takes for you to go, you're going. So just focus on that. You're going to get there eventually. Number 3, right? Stop trying so hard to be so fucking perfect. We hear this all the fucking time, but niggas don't fucking listen. Stop trying to be perfect, because even with that improvement, you ain't never going to be perfect. And the same thing goes for everybody else. Right? People aren't perfect, right? Once you realize that, you'll stop judging other people because you realize that they're just as imperfect as you are. You know what I'm saying? Right? What did Jesus say? Whoever's perfect, cast the first stone, right? Something like that. Same thing goes. We done heard it 100 times. You already know what it is, right? But that's how it ties into the rest of this. And then number 4, once again, notice when you're judging yourself, right? Because that shit's gonna turn into projection if you don't process it. And that's how you end up as a judgmental person. Nobody wants to be around somebody who don't know how to treat the fucking waiter. Don't nobody want to be around the person that's always talking shit about other people's friends and their own friends behind motherfuckers' backs, right? And that's kind of a wrap on all of it, right? That's how you stop chasing who you want to be and start becoming who you are right now. You know what I'm saying? Stop feeling like you're left behind, because these are the things that you have to do to kind of try and catch up. Because you're so focused on the future, you're not worried about who you are now. That's the reason why you're probably not progressing. And it's the same thing for me. You know, most of the time I always feel like I need to take my own advice, but a lot of times this is just self-processing for myself, and then I put it out and try and hope that it helps somebody else. So kind of think about that, food for thought type shit. Peace.